So about a month ago, I made a video of players that we should re-sign in free agency. And now that free agency has already started, I know it's been a month, but I'm going to go over every single move that the Patriots has made in the off-season. Now, let's get into the video. Okay, so on March 2nd, 2022, the Patriots released Kyle Van Noy. And my personal thoughts about this are that Kyle Van Noy, he did pretty good for us last season. I mean, let's see his stats. Okay, so Kyle Van Noy's 2021 stats were 66 tackles, 42 of those were solo tackles, 5 sacks, an interception, a pick six, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, a touchdown, and 10 pass defenses across 16 games. So he obviously missed a game since this season upgraded 16 games to 17 games. But if you ask me, those are solid stats. And now, while I get why the Patriots released Kyle Van Noy due to money problems or money issues, whatever you want to call it, I am a little mad that they let him go, since Jamie Collins and Donta Hightower are both free agents that are probably not going to get re-signed, and our linebacker position now is at a bit of a crisis. Next is Matthew Slater, and Matthew Slater got re-signed to a $2.6 million deal, and I'm not complaining. I mean, like I said in my last video that I made about a month ago, he is old, but if he feels like he's ready to play and his body's functioning properly, then I say yeah, go for it. It's not a huge contract. It's kind of what I wanted. I didn't expect him to give him a huge contract, but overall, I like getting back Matthew Slater. I like the experience on the team. He can teach young players how to, operate on special teams, and overall just make the team a better situation. So next, the Patriots re-signed running back James White to a 2-year contract that was worth up to $5 million. And I'm not complaining. I said in my last video that we needed to re-sign James White and let Brandon Bolden go. And I am not mad. I said I like James White. He's a little bit on the older side, but so is Brandon Bolden. And James White is, if I had to choose between the two, James White would be the more promising running back that I would take at his position. Obviously, he could also be a receiving back, which is what Brandon Bolden filled in for his absence when he was injured. But I like it. I like this re-signing a lot. We didn't get to see James White play that much last year. It was kind of sad, but I get it, and I like it. Now, next, the Patriots re-signed cornerback Terrence Mitchell to a 1-year, $3 million deal, and I'm not mad. I mean, I guess I'm not happy, but I'm not mad. Terrence Mitchell isn't the best receiver the best cornerback that you'll see overall, but I get it. Our cornerback position is kind of in a crisis ever since the loss of J.C. Jackson, which I will get into later, of the departures. But it is, I get it, but we could have done better. Next, the Patriots signed running back / receiver Ty Montgomery to a 4-year, $2 million $4 million deal. And I'm not gonna lie, I watched a bunch of his highlights after I saw this signing, and I like how he's a very good special teams player. I don't think he'll be played on offense a lot, because we have receivers and running backs to fill in those positions that are better than him. But on special teams, he is definitely a very good special teamer, and I'm happy to have him aboard to our team. So yeah. Next, the Patriots trade Chase Winovich for Mack Wilson. And you don't see this a lot. You don't see trading a player for a player. But Chase Winovich is a defensive lineman and Mack Wilson is a linebacker. So, and like I said, our linebacking position is kind of in a crisis. So I do get why Mack Wilson would be a great addition. And Chase Winovich didn't do that much for last year. Like, in his first 2 years, he had 5 sacks. Last year, he didn't have 1. But overall, I think Mack Wilson is a okay linebacker. I do realize our cap space and how we're very limited to what we can do this offseason, but I like it because I like how Belichick is realizing that the linebacking position is in a kind of a crisis, and now we need to get that fixed. And yeah. Next, we traded Shaq Mason to Tampa Bay for a 5th round pick. Okay. Now, this is the first one where I'm saying, Belichick, what the hell are you doing? Um, Now, I don't know any insider information. I don't know if Shaq Mason wanted to stop playing for the Pats or what, but from what I've seen, this is a horrific trade, and I don't get why he did it. Like, I don't get why he did it at all. Shaq Mason was one of our best offensive linemen, and he's worth at least a third round pick. I don't A fifth round pick is just ridiculous. Uh, I I don't agree with this. I just don't. Yeah. Next, the Patriots re-signed Trent Brown to a 2-year contract that can be worth up to $22 million. I love it. Trent Brown was amazing when he was playing. Obviously, he was injured a lot last year, but when he was playing, he was a very good offensive lineman. And the loss of Ted Karras and Shaq Mason, we desperately needed Trent Brown back, and I'm just happy that he's back. And I hope that he produces the results that we expect him to, and doesn't get injured as much. But yeah. Next, we re-signed linebacker Juwan Bentley to a 2-year, $9 million deal, and I like it. Like, Juwan Bentley was solid for us. And I mean, our defense, we lost a core piece in J.C. Jackson, like I mentioned earlier, but Juwan Bentley was a solid piece, and I'm just happy that we're keeping the defense intact as best as we can. And yeah. Next, we re-signed kicker Nick Folk, and like I said in my last video, I love Nick Folk. He's done so much for us. He's extremely consistent, and I'm so happy that we signed him back. I actually don't know the details of his re-signing at the moment. I actually forgot to put that information down, but I am so happy that Nick Folk is back, and let's just get this done. We signed Malcolm Butler to a 2-year, $9 million contract. My personal feelings about this are, he's old, he's coming out of retirement, but I am thrilled to have him back. The loss of J.C. Jackson is what was a pretty big hit for the Pats, and I love how Belichick tried to fill him in with Malcolm Butler. Obviously, Stephon Gilmore is still on the market, but I don't think that he will want to come back to New England. So Malcolm Butler was a good way to go. I don't expect him to produce the results he used to, but I do expect him to produce a decent. I mean, I want him to have a decent season. So yeah, he is old, and he is probably gonna be a cornerback one. I don't know why I keep getting confused between wide receiver and cornerback, but he is gonna become a cornerback one, I would expect. But yeah, I forgot to mention that we did re-sign Jacoby Myers. We put a tender on him, but I did forget to add that. So our purchase was Ted Karras, J.C. Jackson, Gunnar Olszewski, Brandon Bolden, and Jakob Johnson. Those 5 players have left us, and the biggest hit was J.C. Jackson. I'm very sad that he's gone. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, maybe a couple more seconds. But those were our departures. Overall, the departures were not that big of a hit. Ted Karras, yeah, I guess. But Bolden, we didn't need him. We have White. Jakob, we announced that we weren't going to be using a fullback next year. And Gunnar Olszewski, he was, I mean, I like, he signed with the Steelers, but he wasn't we didn't necessarily need him. But J.C. Jackson was just a huge loss, and I'm very sad about it. But yeah, I know I'm ending the video off with a sad note, but yeah, those are my overall thoughts, and goodbye, J.C. Jackson.